So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining me this time and on this usual or weekly regular Born to Lead broadcast. Today, I'm going to be talking about women in leadership, and I'm going to be sharing the platform with quite a number of friends who will join on the platform and have these discussions with me. So while I await them to come online and be a part and parcel of this platform, let me say a big thank you to all the women in the world for having taken time first to give birth to us. And when I say us, I mean all the people in the world, and thereafter to nurture us and to bring us up in ways that we have grown and have become who we are at the moment. So please, um, while I appreciate all mothers and I appreciate all women, I would appreciate that everyone comes online with us and have and share this discussion with us. So, in a short while, I'm sure I would be expecting or getting the attempts to link up by some of my friends. Okay, just to give a hint, I have um, Lebaba Tuavongu would be with me on this platform. I also have Kangyang Deme, who also is already showing up on the screen and would want to be a part and parcel of today's broadcast. Um, Again, I'm expecting two more guests who would be a part and parcel of this platform. So, Kangyang, you are welcome and thank you for being on the platform at this hour.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Um, just for viewers, it took a bit of a pull to get Kangyang to accept this. In fact, it took her influencer to influence her to be on this platform. So thank you for being a part and parcel of this platform. I'm getting a call
Thank
from patients. I don't know why. I'm just hoping that um, perhaps she's making an effort to join and it isn't joining. But so, patience, you are welcome. Can you join us on the platform? All right, Liba is coming online too. Um, I can see that your network. So, Liba, you are welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure having you. We're
Yeah.
waiting for patience, but we were just talking with well, I was just talking, appreciating Kangyang for agreeing to come also on the platform, and pointing out the fact that her influencer had to influence her to be on the platform in person of her mother. So we can say that mothers have a good role to always play in our lives and have a way to push us to do the things that should be beneficial to everyone of us. So you're welcome, and thank you for the honor and privilege to have you online. So while we await patience, I'll just probably proceed to um, to share some of the things that I have written down um, uh, in preparation for today's training. So if you don't mind, while you are with me, um, I would just share some bits of the things that I have regarding women and leadership or women in leadership. So let me go ahead with that and share what I have so that we can benefit from it also. So um, looking at women in leadership, All right, looking at women in leadership. I'm sure you can see the screen. If it's not clear, just please let me know. All right. I just like to point out that where men and women lead differently. All right, men and women lead differently. Now, this may not be too obvious to everybody. It may not have been obvious to everybody, but I'm sure if you've related with the father and the mother, you will discover that one was either hot, either most times the fathers were hot, while the mothers were those who calmed down the situation. Even though in some situations it is the reverse of that event. Now, but this is basically because men and women have been wired um, differently. Okay, they have been configured differently. So while men lead by position power or by positional power, most women will lead by their influence. Basically, and I share a story. My dad was a tough disciplinarian. My mom too was, but I remember that every time my dad beat me, he made sure that I understood that he was the father in the house and not just my mate. All right. So that was clear and obvious to everybody in the house. And every time food was cooked, there were certain parts of or portions of meat that was left for the man, being my father, being the head of the home, to come and eat. And I grumbled so much during those times because I kept wondering, why do you keep this particular portion of meat that we, the children, love, and only the man will have the opportunity to eat that portion of meat? But growing up and studying, I do understand that men love to lead by their positional power. They like to show muscles. They like to express themselves in their physical, by their physical mental makeup. But women lead by their influence. And there are decisions that I thought my father had made until the next day. I just heard him changing the decision. My mother didn't shout over it. She didn't press over his neck to do it. But somehow, I don't know what happened over the night. I just noticed that the next morning the decision had changed. So I again realizing now that my mother had more influence in the home and over the children than my dad with all his energy and strength. And I remember then, anytime my mother beat me, she hugged me. She called me, drew me closer, and hugged me. But anytime my father beat me, that was all. If in fact for 1 week we won't talk with him. You know, even though I didn't let him know I was not talking with him, because anytime he asked a question, I didn't have a choice but to answer the question. So that's one difference between how men and women lead. So men also lead by authoritative strength. Most men are authoritarian in how they lead. Okay, they like to show and express authority, while women lead by persuasion. So again, this may not be the perfect example, but I remember at the early stage of my marriage, whenever I took a tough decision, I had to, well, tamper with the decision anytime my wife shed some tears. All right. So that again is part of our persuasive power, is part of our persuasion. And again, it's commonly discovered that most women lead by persuasion while men lead by authoritative ability. Okay. So further, men, or let me say, well, women lead by suggestion. Okay. They usually don't say that they are making a point. They just tend to make it look as if they are making suggestions. But in reality, that is what they want. That is what is topmost in their heart and mind. Men lead by order. Men love to give directives. Okay? If I say this, I'm sure the Babatu will know of a couple friend of mine that, well, for some years now, they've been apart for as husband and wife, and basically because the man constantly gave orders and thought that every order he gave must be obeyed to the latter. And the woman gave suggestions, and every time he ignored her suggestion. Okay? Well, you will discover that the reason why marriage gets sweet is when you blend your order with suggestions. I can say categorically that I make the final decisions, but most of the final decisions are based on my wife's suggestions. The, whether you like it or not, men and women see things differently. We look at colors differently. We look at life differently. We see children differently. We just have a different definition regarding everything in life. All right? Now, it is not because one is lesser than the other, but because we're wired to look at things differently. Okay? So that's the situation. Um, I could go on and on and on to continue to say the things that are different between men and women as to how they lead. But today the focus is on women. The focus is on women. And like I said, I have a privilege of having already two sisters on, two friends, two sisters online with me. And I would just like to do a brief introduction of um, of these friends of mine. If you don't mind, let me begin with Kangyang Deme, who came first. So, Kangyang, since you chose not to give us um, a brief on yourself, could
Yes.
you just do a brief introduction of yourself so that the audience have their know who I'm speaking with or who is online with me? Thank you. It's a setup.
Yes, this is a very big setup. Okay, so I'll try my best. My name is Kangyang Leme. So um, I'm I'm many things. I'm by training in school. I'm a lawyer. Go to the Nigerian bar. I work as a confidential secretary, and I work in the church. I
Mm.
I I have a passion for children and for discipleship and just growing people generally. Um, so I can be many things to different people, but and like you said, I've been influenced generally by my mother, and she has made me become the person who I am today.
Okay. It seems your network has a bit. I would think it's your network. It seems to have a bit of a drag, but I'm sure we got most of your introduction. All right. Thank you so much. We have Libaba Tuavong, who interestingly would like to be known as wife to one husband.
Mhm.
Again, this where we're having all sorts of funny relationships in marriages. And she wants us to be clear that she has one husband, and I like to say one male husband, because again, um, there are female husbands out there. Luba
Very
is married to
important.
one male husband, who incidentally is my friend, Timothy Avong. She's a lover of Jesus Christ, a discipler, an event planner, a hospitality specialist, and to crown it all, an accountant. Now, Dubai is a part and parcel of the Born to Lead Foundation, and it serves there also as one of the key figures in the Born to Lead Foundation. So, both of you are welcome, and thank you for your time today with us.
Yeah, it's a great pleasure to be here.
All right. I just got a note from Patience that she's been trying to come online, and it seems that her network is a bit it, it's it's a bit slow. All right. So while we hope that she joins us, I would proceed with what we have, and ask that we begin our discussions immediately. So, Young,
Yes, sir.
can you? I'm sure you can hear me.
I can hear you
So,
clearly, but I think, like you said, there's
all
a
right.
delay in my.
Okay, so I would like to begin the discussion with you. There's a picture on the slide on the screen.
Yes.
Do you identify that person? Can you identify that person?
Oh, of course, that's my mother. Even in my, I'll identify her.
Okay, all right. I'm sure that growing up, your mother was a part and parcel of those who influenced your life. And I know this for sure because I
Yes,
see your
very much.
relationship with her. I know that even right now, she's in your house, and would probably, if we had known, we would probably have shared that she should be a part and parcel of this broadcast. But that's fine. Can you just tell us ways in which your mother has been a huge influence over your life as the years have gone by?
Okay. Thank you very much. My mom, her name is Sarah Deme. She has been a very huge part of my life. Um, Considering that my dad passed while we were at an early age, he passed in 1995. So she played a role, mother, but a father in the house. So she was the one that saw us through everything. I think when my father died, just we're six children in my from my mother, and at the time dad passed, only the firstborn was in university. But right now, all of us have gone through the stages of life, and she
Wow.
saw us through everything. My mom, yes, my mom and I have grown to be so close that when people see us in church, they ask whether we're twins or we're sisters because we could start a conversation from home and still go out, still be conversing in the car, and when we get to wherever we go, we'll still continue. And I found out that a lot of decisions I've made in life are influenced by her. She never made decisions on my behalf, but she would advise me and tell me that, okay, this is the way, and you're the one going to live in this situation. So consider it. And I found out that without really saying much, during your introduction, you said men lead by influence. She suggested a lot of things to me that became part of the decisions I make today. That even while she's not there, I find myself making those same decisions, even without her being around. And it has been really impactful for me. Let me just
Mm.
pause there.
Okay, thank you, Kangyang. Again, the line keeps breaking a bit, but I got very interested at the point where two things. One, you pointed out that she's a friend. You've had conversations. You begin from home into the car and so on and so forth. That for me, it's a huge, interesting part of life. Knowing that in modern times or in recent
Yes.
times, as it were, there are a lot of ladies or a lot of children who do not have such conversations with their parents. So let me ask, what were the nature of conversations you were having with your mom? On what were the nature, what were the topics of conversations?
Well, with my mom, there was really no limits to the conversations we had because even growing up, I used to talk about boys, about school, about just generally anything, like things that happened on the road, funny things that I experienced. She tell me about things that happened in her office, and that there was really no script to our conversation. We just got talking.
Yeah. Okay. That's quite interesting. So we bow for your mom. Like you mentioned, when dad passed on, The oldest was in the university. Right now, virtually everybody has gone through the university. That's quite interesting. That's hugely challenging. Can you, by any chance, um, um, open our eyes as to what it was going through university and she encouraging you to go through the process?
Uh, I'm not sure I quite understand the question. Can you rephrase that, please?
Okay. All right. So I know that again, first, my guess is that you studied in Nigeria.
Yes, I did.
All right. And I know what it means to go through the university in Nigeria. I don't know what it is out there in the world. Maybe one of us who has joined will explain to us a bit later. Now, I guess that there were times that funding was tough, that life was hard. How did she motivate you to keep moving on while in the university?
Okay, so it was like you said, it was challenging, it was hard, but I think from her I learned there was something I learned from her was faith. She never showed us that know that it was hard, but I saw how she prayed and she had a really deep relationship with God. And in that, it was through faith that she just did everything. And she just launched out. And I think for me personally, it encouraged me to, faith. That even today there are a lot of decisions or things I do that they just look radical, but it's just that kind of faith I learned from her.
Okay. Thank you, Kangyang. Just keep hanging on with us while we go on to the next person. But by the way, let me welcome Patience Rogers, who has joined us eventually, having struggled with
You say I'm talking now to you. I say is
the
before.
network for some time. So, Patience, you are welcome. Can we hear your voice if you are with us, Patience?
Hello.
So you're welcome,
Yes.
Patience Rogers. Patience Rogers is a mass comm expert. Let me also point that out. And she loves cooking, sewing, and I'm sure right now, because I've heard the voice, I know that her boyfriend is by her side, who is her husband, Rogers. And that for her is also a hobby. To always be with her boyfriend is a huge hobby. In church, you oppress me with your husband, but I don't complain. Then your son, you join that to oppress me, but well, God sees everything and knows everything. So you're welcome and thank you for being with us at this time.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be in your midst. I hope
All
I'll
right.
get to learn one or two things from all of you.
Okay, we're hoping to learn so much from you also. And you came in at a time when Kangyang was um, telling us about her mom's influence over her life. We'll go now
Yes.
to Mrs. Avong, who would request to speak on the lady who is on the screen at the moment while we listen to her. What were the ways, Libaba to Avong, that this woman influenced your life?
Okay, that is Mrs. Alice Garba, my wonderful mom, one of the greatest influencers in my life. So,
All right.
while we were growing up, we grew up in a unique family. Our dad was
Okay.
practicing Islam, my mom was practicing Christianity. And that is really unique, right? And
Ah,
so you can imagine that we woke up, our dad was doing this, our mom was doing it, going to church. So you could see that she didn't force us, but there's a way she tried to draw us to know
hmm,
Christ. Okay. How did she
yeah.
do that? She There are days that we wake up and our dad will tell us, no, you can't follow her to church today. and then she wouldn't argue. She would allow us stay at home, and she would go and come back. Then gradually, she began to teach us Sunday school songs. When she comes back, evening times, she will teach us songs. She will tell us stories, Bible stories, and all that. And so we began to pick interest in understanding or to connect with these stories. And on Sundays, we'd say, we want to follow her. She would dress us up, we'll go to church. And that was how we were more inclined to that Christian aspect. And you can see that was such a great influence. I'm so thankful that this happened. And because of that, today, every member of the family is a Christian, to the glory of God.
Oh,
So,
really?
she didn't try to impose it. She didn't try to, disobey my dad. And, we are watching. There's something about childhood. When you are watching things, you are studying and you are understanding. And because of that, I understood that as a wife, there's something that you don't really try to argue your point, or you try to show that you are also a part of, you are also the neck, as people say, the wife is the neck, Abi. So I understood that the position of the man is the man, the position of the woman is a helpmate, and she operates in wisdom. I learned a lot of wisdom operations from my mom, and my mom was somebody that she doesn't really talk. My dad is the one that talks. I think I took after my dad.
Oh, really?
And because of that, she was a woman of few words. So when she observes anything, she just tells you one thing. And that one thing she will tell you will stick with you, okay? For example, I remember when I was in school, my dad was pulling my head. Go and read pharmacy, go and read pharmacy. You will be very good as a pharmacist. You are very intelligent. I said, One day my mom just told me, see, you can talk, but that pharmacy, I don't think it's you. So better seek the face of God to know where he wants you to be, what he wants you to be. And that was how I seek the face of God. And behold, he led me, and I read accounting. I ended up being an accountant, and not that pharmacy that my dad was insisting that I should do. And she's always there for you. Once she notices that anything is wrong with you, she doesn't joke. She wants to know. She wants to see that everything is okay at every point in time. And then she taught me to believe in myself. She always says that there's something about me that I can do anything I want to do. So because of that, it made me to be very, very independent. I remember when I was in school, by the way, both my parents were teachers. So I can't say we're from a rich home. You know how teacher salary is now. So when I was in school, because of what she used to tell me, in my 300 level, I said I can do something to help parents in settling my needs. Okay, so I now started selling popcorn in school. Now, how did I sell popcorn? I buy during prep at night at the theater hall. People, book ahead of time. They buy popcorn because it helps them to read into the night. It helps them to concentrate while they're reading and eating that popcorn. And from that popcorn money, when I was in 400 level, my first semester, I told my dad, don't worry, don't pay my fees, I'll pay. He was shocked.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I paid my fees. I remember the first high heel I ever wore, I bought it from that popcorn money, So you can see just from one word of encouragement, she knows how to just, throw out a word that will change your mindset and your thoughts automatically. Even in the choice of a husband, she played a very big role,
Oh, really?
Yes, she played a very big role. And I thank God that all the advice, all the, talk we had led me to choose the best man in the world. You know now.
I know.
Okay, so you can see that she has really played an important role in my life. And part of the way the things she did helped me apply. I was able to apply these things in my marriage, and to my greatest surprise, my
So that's why
husband.
I'm surprised because I know that thing. Okay. I was just saying to you that having known Liba, I'm sure I was certain that she couldn't have made that choice on her own of a husband. The man is too gentle for
I said
the
she
friend that
had
I
an
have, the
influence.
person of Liba. So, well, like her network also has a challenge. So, I'm sure you didn't hear that last part of what I was saying. So, we'll proceed. Um, I asked you a question, Liba.
Okay, why are you laughing?
So, no, I'm keeping quiet over the last things that I said. Yeah, they were not meant for your ears, and thankfully, your network was misbehaving that time. Thank you.
Okay,
So,
I'm
is
listening.
there
What's the
something
question?
specific? All right, is there something specific that you grew up seeing your mother doing that has been a part and parcel of your life at the moment? Something specific you saw your mom doing that has been a part and parcel of your life right now. Something perhaps you didn't give so much thought to then, but somehow it's playing itself in your life at the moment. Is there anything in that nature?
Yes, I one thing that my mom was an early riser. She didn't
Uh-huh.
care whether we woke up or not. She will wake up and wants to ensure everything is on point. You understand? So
Yeah.
at a point, I used to feel, me, if I reach this age, I will just, when I have children, I will lie down. It's their turn to do everything. I've paid my dues. But I now notice that somehow, I behave that way too. I want to wake up and just ensure everybody is on point, everything is intact. I believe in, because of the way she was, right now I notice that I want everything cleaned and settled in the home before 8
Ah.
a.m. I want everything fixed so that everybody can go about his duty. If you want to rest, you rest. If you want to, whatever you want to do, you do it at at ease. You
Hmm.
understand? So I noticed that
Okay.
she influenced me in that area, and it
Okay.
went against my plans.
That's serious. That's
When I say against
interesting.
my plans, when I say against my plans, I mean my own. I felt at a certain age you should be able to relax and other people do the work
Yeah.
for you. But I noticed that I'm not able to do that because of the way she brought me up and the way
All
she
right.
she was she lived a life of example.
Okay. Okay. All right, so thank you, Liba. Keep hanging out with us. We'll go to patience right now, and so in let me say this in praising Patience's mother, I didn't have a title to give Patience or to give her mother because I find it hard to believe that this is your mother.
Okay, she's my mom. I don't even
All
know why
right.
she's even looking all smaller than me or younger than I am.
All right, so you see, we're beginning to get to the point where I was finding it difficult. I looked at her face, looked at your face, and I said, no, you could be classmates or some friends around the corner.
She's over 60. I don't even know
Oh,
why she still
really?
looks like that.
Wow,
Yes. Yes.
wow, wow. Okay.
But she doesn't just get old.
Okay. So it's like a situation with me and my dad. My dad describes me as his younger brother, and most people are inclined to think so until I
Exactly.
protest about it. All right. So can you just share with us what were the ways in which this woman influenced you growing up and up to date?
Okay, this is let me introduce her. This is Ofyong Aliu. I actually
Okay.
sometimes call my mom by her first name because she's not
Oh,
big on this thing. But anyway, my mom, when I was growing up, wearing clothes because I'm the only
oh,
girl and I have
okay.
elder ones. But my mom was really, really strict with me. So I thought she didn't like me. So we're not close at all. We only got
No,
close when I got into university. We're not
really.
friends. That I was always avoiding her because she was always beating me because I was always doing the wrong thing. And I just felt she didn't like me because my dad was always defending me. No, don't beat her. Don't do this. And so I thought my dad liked me. So
Ah,
I didn't really know so much, or I would say I didn't really take it so seriously that I actually needed to be close to my mom until I went to university. And then my mom showed me that she actually did care about me. Because I
mm,
got to Niger State, I schooled at Ibrahim Badamas Babangida University.
oh
And when
yeah.
I went there, it was a new school and there was no hotel there. And by the time we got there, it was late. So there was nowhere to sleep, but it was in the hostel. And my mom stayed with me in the hostel for 3 days till I finished my registration and everything.
Whoa.
She stayed with me, was taking her bath outside, something that she wasn't even supposed to do. She could just up and go the next day, but she actually did stay with me. And for the first time, everybody in the house used to call me baby, but my mom would never call me baby. No, she was always calling me patience. Never would she
Ah,
call me by any pet name or anything. And so for the first time, she called me baby and then she spoke to me and she told me that she only wanted the best for me. And like she um like she previously the last speaker said about her mom influencing her with quietness, and my mom stopped working just to take care of us.
whoa.
She became a full-time housewife. Yes, she was working in now BOA, Bank of Agriculture. That time it was
Yeah.
NSCB. So she was working there and then she retired and became a full-time housewife to take care of us. And she doesn't used to contend with my dad. When my dad says something, she doesn't used to contend with it. And I used to be like, I will never be that person. I can never let a man climb my head. Never. I will not try it. And she, if my dad says A, she, even though he is so wrong, you see he is wrong, she will say, there's no problem, and she will do it. I was like, what kind of annoying thing is this? I sometimes I used to tell her, you cannot just stand up for yourself. Then fast forward, getting married now, I understand. So, if she but if she was that person who always responded and was quick to talk to my dad or be snappy, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have learned what I needed to learn now
Mm,
or what I'm doing now. And she was a very big influence with me concerning my move to stay by myself in Lagos. She wanted me to grow up and be by myself. She told me that I should stay in Lagos when I because it was so hard. Imagine me living in the north all my life and everybody is doing that whole oh don't go outside the nest, just be yeah. But my mom was really influential and she was like I should stay there and then see what I should grow. That was the word. She needed me to grow. And it
mm.
helped me because now staying all those years by myself, now that I'm married, I have seen the both sides and then there's a balance. I think I needed that balance.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you, Patience. I could describe your mother as an eagle. You know, eagles have this habit and ability to give tough love. All right. So
Yes.
I would say that your mother gave you some very tough love. And in fact, at some point, I was almost shedding tears when you were talking. This is quite a bit touchy. And if you know me, you know that I'm not one who is quick to do that. Well, thank you so much. Could you just, okay, you've shared with us that you've learned the need to take in so much, to swallow in so much. And I hope Rogers is listening to you as you speak right now, knowing that. And I wish all the other husbands were also listening. knowing that it is not every time you speak that you are right. Okay, as
Yeah.
as men. So I'll try to do something about men when the day for celebrating men comes up. Well, so thank you so much. Is there any particular area, um, patients, that you wish you had known about your mom earlier than you did?
Yes. Uh, I didn't know my mom was someone who uh I secretly wanted to be like her, but I felt
Yeah.
like her standard was too high. I felt she was too perfect and I couldn't be like her because when she's talking about education, she wants me to be excellent. She wants me to be able to take care of the house properly. Everything has to be perfect. I just felt she was too perfect. But I
Mm,
didn't, she actually sat me down and told me that it was a process. It wasn't like she was perfect. She was never that sort of person. There were things that she even is still learning, but
yeah.
I just took it out of context that she was perfect and she was trying to make me into that person who I can't be. I used to think that she swallowed too much, but she told me she used to have anger problem, but she dealt with it and it
Oh.
was with God. It was a constant work with God. It was something that she had to keep putting in the work every day. And today what I'm seeing is something that God kept refining. So if I knew then when I was younger that people are not perfect, maybe certain standards that I held or certain things that I just left
Mm,
up, as in without finishing, because I
yeah.
felt no, it's only perfect people who can finish something like this. I wouldn't have done that. I would have actually gone for it. So yeah, I wish I knew that perfection is not just attained, or there are certain people who are just perfect.
Okay. All right. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, ladies. And so you see, one of the reasons why we're doing this today is because on Monday, the International Women's Day was celebrated, all right, the world over. So we're doing this today in applaud to or applause to the women the world over. And I thought we should discuss on our mothers because, again, whether you liked it or not, somehow, one way or the other, your mother had a huge influence on you while growing up. So, having said that, all right, what are some of the hindrances that, as women, as ladies, as sisters, um, you have encountered? Now, talking about your individual persons, you have encountered as ladies growing up. Were there any challenges you encountered while you were growing up, just because of the fact that you were ladies? Any one of you can take this and continue.
Growing up in Zaria, I
Yeah.
was in a surrounding that had so many, the religious aspects there, and so they don't really take women as anything. They just
Ah,
there's a way they just treat women. Women should just be at home. Women should just be
okay.
restricted and all that. So that was a big challenge. You want to do certain things, but you are limited. You understand? There are times,
Yeah.
when you are in a car and a man wants to enter, he tells you he will sit near you. You should come down and go to the other side so that they sit.
Oh,
Yes, it
really?
happens a lot, especially in those parts of this country. I begin to wonder. See this one. Unfortunately for them, they give me, I give them. you know. So that was some of the challenges. You get it, that I faced growing up in that kind of society. But again, I can say that there are so many other things that we face. E.g., in ABU,
Yeah.
women and girls could enter the boys' hostel, but boys couldn't come into the girls' hostel, all because of that, the mentality of that area. I hear that
Sorry,
it's
take
different.
that. Did you say that
I
the
said,
girls cannot enter men's hostel, but the men can
no,
enter the women hostel?
no, girl, boys are not allowed into our hostels, but we are
Oh,
allowed into their hostels. But I hear in other areas, in other universities, it was different. I was shocked the first time I heard that in University of Jos, boys could enter guest hostel. I said, that's serious, So, that has been, these are some of these things women face. You understand? They just feel whether you like it or not, you are of lower value. But
uh-huh.
thank God for growing up and experiences. I've come to realize that we can occupy and we can go far
Mm.
in every area. I've done it
Okay.
and I'm happy and I'm enjoying that. So I'm not moved by
Wow.
anything or any man feeling he's better than me in any area. I don't feel that. I know who I am, especially knowing God has helped me to understand that I am strong, I can be focused, I can achieve a lot of things through him. But that doesn't mean I respect my husband very well. I don't think that I drag with him.
Okay. All right. Would any one of you want to share some of the challenges you faced while growing up as ladies? Kangia, for example, I know you are six in your family, the children, and two of you are ladies, and the others are
Yeah,
healthy-looking young men.
our guys.
Did you face any
Okay, so
challenge?
for us when we're okay, so for us growing up, like you rightly said, we're six, four guys and two ladies. Fortunately, when we were growing up, my mom always there's one thing she always constantly said that I don't have male children, I don't have female children, I have children. Equal chores, we used to do everything together. But sometimes my brothers from learning from their friends, you're a girl, you can't do this. But I was kind of tomboyish when I was small because I used to follow them anywhere they were going. I thought they allowed me to go out you. So I was always following them where they used to go. But over the years, like even growing up, I remember after law school when I was looking for a job, every law firm I entered, they will tell you that, and they will tell you point blank that they are not going to take you because you're a woman, you can't do the job, there's too much rigor, there's too this and that. And it was, in fact, at one point, I had to tell the person, I was like, how would you know that I cannot do it if you haven't given me a chance to fail or to do the right thing? Like, so, but I came to discover that at the end of the day, if you apply yourself rightly, you can do anything. And I've stopped comparing myself to other people. And if I want to do something, I'll just do it. And I I have this mindset that anything I'm going to do, I have to excel in it. I have to do best. So that's why sometimes if I'm not ready to take on a task, I won't even do it because I give everything 150% because I expect everything to be right. Even when driving in this country, once they see that it's a woman that is behind the wheel, they feel they can intimidate you or they can drive anyhow. But I personally, I've, I've overcome all those things and I see that I can even drive better. I drive a manual car. Most of my friends can even drive a manual. So, you're still on mute.
I was laughing because of an incident that just took place within the week. No, last week. and we were driving, and someone crossed our path, and as soon as the vehicle crossed, it slowed down a bit. And guess what? The person who was with me said, "It must be a woman. It must be a woman." And we drove nearby,
That's the
and guess
usual
what?
language. Now,
I won't
woman.
say the end part of that discussion, but I had a bit of a challenge with him on the road, and I said, "You don't just assume that when you see a pattern of driving, that it must be from a particular sex. All right? Some people get drunk and go on the road, so they can drive recklessly, and you never can tell." Well, I see Patience laughing. What were the challenges you had growing up as a lady? When I heard Kangyang speak about her driving and the fact that she had brothers who said, "You're a woman," I saw you laughing. What were your challenges?
Oh, okay. My brothers never oppressed me because I was the one doing the oppressing. Because once you oppress me, I'll go report to our dad. There. So nobody wants to get into the whole my dad is punishing them or something, because my dad never punished me, but he was always punishing my brothers. So, but what I realized when I was growing up is I grew up in the north, I grew up in Kaduna, and the whole segregation of women can't talk, women can't do this, women can't do that. Oh, it's a lot. Even though uh when I was in school, the school I went to, they don't do that. But there were certain positions that they wouldn't give to girls. They would tell you that, oh, and you'll be assistant class captain. You can't be class captain. You are a girl. Why will I be saying, be answering to a girl? And this was in secondary school. This was not even university yet. And this is supposed to be I would say a tush school, because I went to Zamani, and it just didn't sit right with me, because you look at you watch TV and you see that girls are doing amazing things, girls are doing so much. Maybe when it comes to, then there are certain classes that are for girls. Home economics, food and nutrition is for girls, it's not for boys. Boys take technical drawing and the rest of them, and you want to take those courses, and they'll be like, uh-uh, is it not for boys? Why do you want to do that? Even back at home, your parents don't even know when they do that. They just say it, and or you say you want to do sciences, and they tell you, is it not arts or social science you're supposed to do? You're a girl now. Don't girl is not supposed to read too much or something like that. And it's sad. Or when my dad would tell them that, oh, okay, I'm going to do. I remember one incident that we were traveling, and I was supposed to travel alone. I would meet up with my parents, and my dad was saying that he was going to buy business class for me. And his cousin said, why would you buy a girl business class? That's not good. You're supposed to buy her ordinary this thing, because by the time she goes to her husband's house now, she will now be feeling, eh, my dad has been buying me business class. She will not respect her husband. Thank you, that was the word. And don't buy her car now. Let her let her sit down first, taking car transport. If you buy her a car now, she will not respect her husband. And this was coming from family members, and it didn't sound right. It just sounded very weird. Like she said, like Kangan said, you are driving, the next thing they'll be like, and a woman now. I know certain times when I'm in the car with my husband and people will be asking, why you let this woman drive? You, why you not drive? And I'm like, this is still happening like 20 years ago, and it's still happening today, because I think it's even worse now. I think before girls could even do certain things, but now it's there's so much stereotype, and you can't there are so many things you can't do. I know when I hear girls are pilots, even me that's a babe, and I know I want women to achieve, I be like, pilots, engineer, it sounds weird. I feel like girls, okay, lawyers, accountants, yes, mass comm, English. But when you see like all those courses, like, nah, it's too much. It's
Talk
not for
less,
a babe.
talk less of soldier, Abi. Soldier.
Ah, no. It's just weird. No, I know when I used to tell my dad, even my dad that was inclined to military and everything, and I tell my dad that, oh, if they start allowing girls to enter NDA, I'll be a soldier. I say, eh, with which body? I better sit down at home, John. Which one is that? I just forget about that. You can't even do that. And I'm like, okay. But I think we need to change the narrative. If we can do that, and start from church and start making girls elders, to be good.
Thank you very much.
So you see, you are taking it to the next level, all right, which is quite interesting. It's interesting for me.
Yes,
And
yes.
by the way, I need to state that I keep saying I'm a ladies' man. And when I say that, what I mean is this, all right? My father has 7 children. I have only one brother out of that pack. The rest are all women. Okay, the rest are all females. So 5 ladies, 2 guys in the house with a mother. Then again, I'm married. I have a wife. I have 2 daughters. Okay, until one young man called James came in to break the ranks. I was completely surrounded by women. Until date, that's usually my situation. Somehow, I think somehow that has impacted or influenced me that I think I easily make relationships more with ladies than with the guys, than with men. And I think it's basically because I had too many ladies surrounding me while I was growing up. So that's a bit of my story. I thought to talk a bit of my mother, but time is running fast. Maybe we'll just move on. Um, Again, the intention was to just have an hour with us, but again, the time is closing in. Let me say this, or let me give room for this. What advice would you have for young ladies growing up in this century? Okay, taking cognizance of the environment in which you grew up and the way that the world is driving towards at the moment. What would be your advice to young ladies, particularly who are aspiring to do things, but because of this fear of gender, are restricting themselves? The floor is open. Any one of you could begin this aspect of the discussion.
I think every girl should just go for their dreams, because right now, as it is, girls are more favored than guys. If you go to check for jobs right now, I think
Yeah.
after 2019, or is it 2020, more people want to hire females, and I'll say
That's true.
55% of workforce is now more of women, and women are earning more than men now.
Mm,
So I don't see the reason why any girl shouldn't go for her dreams. Yes, there will always be that man, woman, that whole trying to bring belittle a woman. But at the end of the day, you know who you are. We're supposed to teach our girls to know who they are, not
yeah.
irrespective of a man or gender or anything. Just know who you are and then pursue your dreams, because you don't want to stay and be a spectator. You did not come to this
Mm,
life. My husband used to say, I did not come to this life to spectate and look at people achieving, and then me, I'm just going to sit down and not achieve. I feel like
yeah.
everybody should just go for their dreams. I don't want to wake up when I'm in my 60s or in my 70s and then I start regretting that, oh, in my 30s, I didn't do this or I didn't do that. Nah, I
Uh-huh.
I wish everyone should take the bull by the horn and then go for it. Highest, highest thing that will happen. You will fail, but you will stand up again. That's just it. That
Okay.
failure, you may fail, but it won't keep you down.
All right. Thank you, Patience. Kanjang, what do you have to say?
Okay, so very quickly, what I will say is that for every person, limitations only exist in your mind. You can
Mm,
be who you want to be, how you want to find your own path. I think everybody needs to discover yourself first. If you haven't found out who you are, once you discover who you are, you can put your mind to anything and do anything. Don't allow others to cheat you, to squeeze you in their mold and tell you how it has to be. You can create your own path. Do as long as you're alive, you can do
yeah.
what you want to do. There are women that have been living all over the world, everywhere. There are some that it's very obvious. There are some that it's silent. But put your mind to something and just achieve it and do it. Don't compare yourself with others. Don't allow your thinking to be limited. Put yourself out there and do it. You can do it.
All right. Thank you, Liba.
Okay, so I want to say that you should keep at the back of your mind that you are not what people say you are. You are who God has designed you to be. That is the first thing that you should know. And I was discussing with some of my friends a few days back, and one of them told me that marriage is a dream breaker, a bit dream scatterer. I said, why are you saying that? Because she said the dreams she had so many dreams of so many things she wanted to achieve even after marriage. But when she married, she now discovered that she's restricted, not because she doesn't want to do these things, but because her husband
Yeah.
feels that you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. It's not encouraging her. Do you understand? And I'm so
Yeah.
many women feel out there. But I want to tell you that one of the secrets of overcoming such is being intimate with your maker, being intimate with God. When
Yeah.
you have things you want to do, go back to God, talk to him about it. He will always make a way, because he will
Mm,
even teach you how you can present things to your husband. I'm talking to younger women now who are married and want to achieve a lot. Don't disconnect from God. If you connect with God, as God say, your husband is your head, your husband to get head. So once you connect with God, he knows how to handle that one that thinks is your head. I've experienced it, and it works like magic. And then I want to also talk to younger women who have children, especially male children. They should
yeah.
educate them on who women are. Sometimes we talk to the girls, we train the girls, we guide them, but we never talk to the boys. We never guide them on the reality of life, who a woman is. What does a woman come to do in your life? You understand? These boys need to know these things. We need to teach them so that they will also understand who women are and value the position of women in their lives and in the society. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you all, three of you, for agreeing to be with me today, and thank you for your time. As we round up, I'll just give room for your final words, particularly with respect to Born to Lead and all that we'll be doing in terms of leadership, and what advice do you have for us? Just one word in maybe a minute or and a half from every one of you. Thank you.
Okay, I would say that Born to Lead, since I got connected to Born to Lead, my mindset of leadership changed. That leadership is about influencing, it's not about being in charge. And so I want to
Yeah.
encourage us that wherever you find yourself and whatever you do, know that you are born a leader. And the secret of leadership is to influence. How are you influencing people around you? Is it negative or positive? Of course, you can examine yourself to see. Please be an influencer positively. That is the role of a leader. Thank you.
Thank you, Liba. Patience.
Oh, okay.
Also,
Let her
Were you
talk
sleeping
first.
off on us?
No.
All right.
Yeah. I would say Born to Lead has really helped me know one thing, and I keep at it every time, that before you're a leader, you're a follower. If you can't follow, then you can't lead. And that was something you said to us one of your sessions then at Samuel Tubaho. And
Yeah.
it was really a mind changer for me. I said, how can I keep saying that I'm a leader and then I can't follow? I'll just use a quick example. If I want my son to follow me, or that's to be leading him, then I have to respect my husband, who in turn, like Liba said, respects God. So
Yeah.
we have to follow, like it has to be a pattern or a hierarchy. So Want to Lead has really opened my eyes to that. And then I've tried as much as possible to be a good follower before trying to be a leader.
With my network. Sorry.
It's okay.
All right. So, Kanjang,
Okay, so I, I would say for Born to Lead is a platform that has been really helpful and insightful in terms of leadership, and it's not the everyday kind of leadership that you know that's put out there. That,
yeah,
but in essence, we're all born to lead. We have where you find yourself is your space, and you just create that influence over there, and you are a leader there. And like adding to patient says that you can't really be a good if you don't know how to follow. Somebody must have showed the way. So we're all
mm,
born to lead, and we should go out there and lead.
all right. So, thank you to all of you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for spending your well over 50 minutes, 1 hour with me and Born to Lead. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for all that you're doing as great women. Again, you were drawn on this platform for very particular reasons. I've related with every one of you. I know the areas in which you are influencing me. You may not know, so I keep quiet about that, but I'll just so you don't change your pattern of influence over my life. And I appreciate just every one of you for the good things that you're doing. Kangyang, Liba, Patience, have a wonderful week ahead of you. And thank you for the time that we've spent at this moment. See you. Bye bye at this time. Have a great week. Again, like I
You
said earlier.
too.
All right.
Bye.
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 Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
So thank you everyone for your time with us. Thank you for giving us the privilege to have shared this um, with these wonderful ladies. We'll take a break at this point. We will meet next week, Wednesday, 1 p.m., with uh, um, another discussion on leadership, just like we shared on women influencers in our lives. Thank you so much, and you have a great week ahead of you. Bye bye.